Hey, Pete.
Great to see everybody. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, so Peace Lights is a symbol of peace. It just came out of some light shows that we were doing. I was doing with a partner, a video artist named Eileen Cohen in 2014. We were taking some of my light photography and projecting them onto buildings. I have a little bit of an audiovisual background, so we had a 6,000 lumen projector from a corporate sponsor. And we did all these kind of projections of flying through light photography in 2014. Turns out that 2015 was the United Nations International Year of Light. We didn't know it was coming. It just happened. They heard about us and we had really good responses to all the shows we did. So we were the invited artist projectionists for the opening ceremonies at the UN of the International Year of Light in 2015. Well, it was January 15th. It was on the water. We had that projector again projecting on the building, but it was like 15 degrees. It was really cold. So I said to Eileen, no one's going to be outside looking at this best of reel that we kind of pulled together. So we're going to take this one piece that we used to call drapes and bring it inside and just loop it all night. And drapes is the predecessor to Peace Lights here. So we brought it in and it had a profound impact on the energy of the whole scene. About a month later in February, we were getting an award from the New York Peace Coalition because one of the events that we did in 2014 was a music peace marathon streamed to 20 countries from BronxNet Studios, and they didn't have any visuals, and we had all these beautiful visuals. So we brought drapes again. About 3/4 of the way through the night, the Muslim sheikh, who is the chairman of the New York Peace Coalition, a 6'3" guy from Gambia, walks up to me, says, "Peter, such good energy in that corner. Everyone loves the lights." And I said to him, just making conversation, I said, "Hey, Sheikh, what about a video like that as a symbol of good energy or peace or something like that?" And this is where I say my life changed. He looked down at me and his whole demeanor changed. He said, "Peter, we have not had a new symbol of peace in more than a generation. We've been looking for a visual symbol because we're visual creatures to provide solidarity for actions of peace around the world." I was like, wow, didn't expect that. So driving back from the Bronx that night to New Jersey, where I live, I had this thought and called up Eileen the next morning. She gave me the thumbs up. I called back to Sheikh and I said, "Hey, Sheikh, here's what we propose. The New York Peace Coalition commissions Pete and Eileen for free to remaster drapes into peace lights. We'll add the word peace lights at the beginning. We'll add it in 55, in a bunch of different languages. It turned out to be 55 languages. The colors will represent the different cultures in the world. And the motion represents how those cultures interact and work together to achieve harmony and peace and good energy." And he said, "Do it." We did it. We delivered it to the New York Peace Coalition. It turned out to be 55 languages. We always chose the holiest form of the word light. There are about 6 or 7 languages where there are multiple words for the word light. So we delivered it on April 8th of 2015. On April 9th, they adopted it as their international symbol of peace and nonviolence. 2 weeks later, on Earth Day, peace organizations from 14 other countries adopted peace lights. That weekend, it played in public for the first time at the Jacob Javits Center for the Green Festival, 25,000 people. And weirdly, people were lining up to have their picture taken with the peace lights flowing over them. Started playing at concerts and various other things. That June, the United Nations International Year of Light endorsed peace lights, started playing all around the world. One of the things that it led to was an event, concerts, conference. I mean, it was playing all over the place. Started playing at the United Nations. It's played more than probably 70, 75 times now at the UN, General Assembly Hall, all the main conference rooms, Delegates Lounge, Church Center, 10 times in Times Square. It's played literally on 7 of 7 continents. We had a Marine, Vietnam vet, Marine Sergeant, Danny Garcia, who walks the world for peace. He's done over 52 million steps since the mid-90s. And he's 80 years old now. So he was going down to Antarctica to walk on Antarctica for his 80th birthday, brought peace lights with him. So along the line has kind of gotten a life of its own. And one of the events was honoring an icon of the civil rights movement, Claudette Colvin, who was the 15-year-old girl who got arrested 9 months before Rosa Parks on the bus. It was really her arrest that spawned everything. So I was invited to speak at an event where Peace Lights was invited to play, honoring her in the Bronx. And I said something about her literally saving lives. So someone came up to me afterwards because I had a little graph. She accelerated the timeline and deaths per day went down sooner. So that means she literally saved lives. Someone came up to me and said, "Mr. Rogina, no one's ever told her story that way." Would you mind telling that story to the ambassador from the African Union to the United Nations? Well, one thing led to another. I met with him, had a good meeting, and he said, I don't meet with people like you a lot. Would you mind reviewing a document for me? We could use an outsider professional opinion. It turned out to be their 50-year plan. So I read it, found a bit about peace education, which related back to Claudette Colvin because she knew her rights on the bus that day, and that would have fallen under the umbrella of peace education. Got into this discussion, and now I have an organization that's helping the African Union to accelerate the timeline for realizing peace education as per their 50-year plan in all the countries in Africa. There are 55 countries in Africa. We're currently in 30 of those countries. We're facilitating a curriculum development working group, 2 delegates from every country. That's been done before. But the real part is the ethnic outreach to every tribe in every country in Africa. Tribe, caliphats, kingdoms, chiefdoms, and everything like that. Because you'd never be successful in driving curriculum down into tribes unless they participated. So there's like 371 tribes in Nigeria, 242 in Cameroon, and so on. So that's kind of what I've been doing. And Peace Lights just has a life of its own. It still gets invited to all sorts of events. It's been very, very popular in interfaith circles, in meditation circles, yoga circles. And I love bringing it. I don't look at it as having to bring this. We got a big Nigerian event later today in New Jersey here. And it's a few hundred people come to that. But I don't look at it as having to bring Peace Lights. I get to bring Peace Lights to all these events. And through the interfaith connection and all of the events at the church center and other events, I've gotten this great blessing to be able to get exposed, get to learn. And you know how everything in your life leads up to what you're doing today and what you're going to be doing. Well, I feel that with this especially because the knowledge I've gotten from classes, and it's been a beautiful blessing to be able to come here and kind of sit in when I can on these classes and attend the ordination, attend the retreat, and so on. Mm-hmm. And I've actually used a lot of the knowledge that I've garnered over the years in discussions with Africans, with other people at the UN, with other folks, with my friends. And it's been a real interesting compliment to the whole journey that I've been on with the peace education. So it's great to be here. Great to see everybody. Great to see a lot of friends. And I'll be listening in the background. So that's Peace Lights. And you'll see it a few times more during the year, I'm sure. So thanks a lot, everybody.
What a great intro.
Pete, thank you for that story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's something I never planned on in my life. It's one of those things that I felt early on in the Peace Lights journey that the universe was putting these stones in front of me, and I was meant to just walk along them. And it's kind of crazy. I was the invited Black History Month speaker at the United Nations in 2020 in February, like right before COVID. How does that happen? It's kind of a crazy kind of confluence of events, but it has a purpose now. And anyway, great to be here. Thanks again.